Untitled Child here. Today I'm going to be taking the Forgotten Highway. While I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about the SMRAT logic, or the logic used for the Super Metroid Randomized Accessible tournament. And the keyword there is accessible. Most Super Metroid randomizers, they expect you to know a fair number of speedrunning tricks, things like mock balls, short charges, perhaps some advanced lava dives. You get the picture. It's not going to be that easy for a casual player. But SMRAT is different. SMRAT is designed where if you have beaten this game, you've collected 100% of the items, and you've also learned the things that the game teaches you, whether it's the the things that the animals teach you, like the wall jumps or the shine sparks, or if it's or it could be the things that are in in-game demos. That when the game starts up and it kind of plays those demos, there's some things the game tries to teach you there. If you know how to do those things, then you're going to be able to complete a SMRAT seed. That doesn't make it easy. So today I'm going to talk about the things you might not realize are in logic. And I'm actually going to start with the moat. Which is a little strange because why am I thinking of the Forgotten Highway if I'm going to be talking about the moat. So you remember the moat, that's that water that you jump over to get to the wreck ship. If you've watched speedruns, you've probably seen speedrunners do a shine spark to get across the moat. Or in some of the newer route categories where you have fewer items, you can see that fancy wall jumping or CWJ. Or you might see a fancy bomb jump, where there'll be like 2 bomb jumps to bounce over. That's the HBJ, horizontal bomb jump. None of that's in logic. None of that's in SMRAT logic. That's all speedrunning stuff. What is in logic is the grapple beam, which would be kind of the traditional way you get over in a regular playthrough. Or, since it is a randomizer, you might have early space jump. So, that would be a way to get over. There's actually one more way to get over. And it's not going over, but instead by going around. And that's taking this Forgotten Highway. If you've got gravity, power bombs, and supers, then you're going to be able to take this route. This is actually the trickiest part of Forgotten Highway here. You got these rippers you got to get by. You can choose to super them out like this, or you can also lay a power bomb. That. And you are going to have to know how to do these wall jumps. These are not too difficult of wall jumps. In fact, any of the really difficult wall jumps, things like wall jump next to Gauntlet or like the Alcatraz, that's all out of scope. You will not be expected to know how to do the Alcatraz. You will be expected to be able to do wall jumps like the ones you just saw there. So this next part's the maze. I'm not too good at the maze, so let's talk about something else while I'm going through here. Let's talk about crashes. So crashes in Super Metroid are rare, but there are ways to make them happen, and they are not random, which means there's always something we can do to prevent them. Fortunately, they're not too hard to avoid, and a lot of times they're things that are out of logic anyway. So a good example would be the stand-up glitch. Maybe you're familiar with it. In 100% categories, runners will do a trick where they're actually standing up and shooting at Mother Brain when they're normally supposed to be in kind of a like in a crouched position. But instead, Samus is standing up, firing her full beam plasma beam combo, and Mother Brain doing some damage. Of course, something like that is not logic. You would need to do that. And also, that particular trick is pretty dangerous. There's several ways that can go wrong. And so my advice is, unless you thoroughly understand that stand-up glitch, I would not recommend doing important runs, or at least save beforehand. Because you can get soft-locked very easily. Well, here I'm going to show off this room. There's not actually any benefit coming up here. So you can see the room is all shut off here. Even if I climb up here, There's no item. So, no reason to come here. I just wanted to show that if you do come to the Forgotten Highway and you're thinking, I'm going to pick up this Rex B tank. Nah, it's not going to work. So another crash, it's actually the Meridia tube, so like we're at the very start of the video, that tube that we broke. You may have seen speedrunners lay a power bomb, and then they start running to leave the room. And they actually, on here, you can actually walk on these spikes. These spikes are not activated right now. But anyway, with breaking the Meridia tube, if you lay the power bomb and you leave the room, and you do it at the same time the glass is going to break, that will soft lock the game. You end up going into the next room, the game is then trying to do the glass break animation, there's no glass to break. And it's just no good. By the way, you are going to want to come in here when the ship is off like this, and go check this missile out. These spikes in particular, these ones here, can do up to 200 damage. You don't want to be in here when they're active. Thanks, man. That's what I needed. A little help. Post here. There are other ways to get in some trouble too. Let's talk a little bit about where you want some help. Let's pick that up. Let's talk a little bit about soft locks too. Might be a good example of soft lock here. You get somewhere, it's like, oh shoot, I don't have the supers that I need. Yeah, really. Okay. Okay. Now I've got supers. So I can get past that room. Then I get over here, and oh shoot, the bombs. Oh no. No bombs. And bombs are actually the easiest way to soft lock in this game. Just forgetting the fact that you don't have bombs. It's actually fairly common to have seats where you don't find bombs for a while, and you're therefore reliant on your power bombs, and you can just run out. And I mean, you're thinking, okay, well I guess I won't be fighting Fantoon today. I guess I'll just leave through here. You know, it might be kind of hard to leave through here. How am I getting out? So, I can try farming stuff. Maybe he'll drop a power bomb for me. Nope. And that's the thing, a lot of enemies in this game, this ghost is actually has like an 8% chance of dropping a power bomb. Might give you a power bomb if you're lucky. But those atomic things I was shooting at earlier, those have only a 2% chance of dropping power bombs. So if you were relying on those atomics to drop your power bomb, you're going to be waiting a while. Anyway, I decided to load back out of that situation so we don't stay stuck for the rest of the demonstration. You always want to be watching the power bomb count. You want to consider picking up extra power bomb packs, and when you pass by enemies, there are certain enemies in this game that have like a 99% chance of dropping a power bomb. So when you're passing by one of those enemies, you want to think about taking a little bit of extra time to farm. By the way, as I passed by this area, there's an item back here. It's pretty easy to get to with gravity. Let's say, instead of gravity, let's say I grapple. Let's say I came in this way with my grapple. And in that situation, maybe I've got Varia suit, but I don't have gravity suit. Normally, being in the water is going to be out of logic. However, this item here, this item is accessible even without having gravity suit. And this could be gravity right here. So don't skip it thinking that, oh, it's in water, I can't get it. This item is in logic. You're going to want to shoot, by the way, to get out of here. You shoot and then roll through. You don't have bombs. Although, if you don't have bombs, you probably should stop and not go to the wreck ship. Go back to the ship and go get some bombs before you come in here. Because there's like tunnels up here, like when you're heading to bowling, that is like a narrow place you can work in. The only way to get out is to either have a bomb or a spring ball to bounce out. You don't want to get stuck in there. Alright, let's wrap up my... while I'm talking about things that may or may not be in logic, let's talk a little bit about... I'm going to go to the classroom for this. Oops. Alright, so this big plasma room here, see how deep this room is? You're really supposed to have space jump. See, with space jump I can get out of here. With just about anything else, it's going to be hard to get out. Here, I'll use plasma so I can kill these guys out of the way. So you might be thinking, space jump can't be here, right? Because how would you even be able to come into the room if you had space jump? And the truth is, no, space jump could be here. And so if you don't have space jump, it doesn't mean that plasma is out of logic. It just means that if you need to leave the room, you're not going to be leaving. It's kind of hard. I think you can get it. It's hard to. You don't have enough room here to get a shine spark without getting short charge. So there is no in-logic way of getting out of here. Oh, except for bombs. If you had bombs, you could do a bomb jump. I'm going to talk about the bomb jump a little bit here. But the point is that you'll often hear people, even commentators, even like experts in the game, people who experience the game, they'll often talk about, oh, you got space jump, now plasma rooms in logic. Technically, as soon as you beat Dragon, plasma rooms in logic, get up here. You just may want to save first, because if what you're looking for is not here, if space jump's not here, and you can't get back out, then you're going to have to reset. And that is a part of the game. It may expect you to check items like that. Alright. Next I want to talk about shine sparks. So this is where I want to be. Oh yeah. Okay, so I mentioned those demo videos at the beginning of the game. Most of them are pretty benign and don't have any interesting things in them. But one of them did something like this. Oops, not that. Not me shooting off his face. Oh. That is one of the shine sparks, going straight up. You might need that. I forgot. That's the horizontal one. I'll just show them all off while I'm doing this. There we go. Forgotten where my R button is. You could use that to get up to that ledge there. I just missed it, but there's actually plenty of leeway to do it. It's just because I'm sitting here doing a demo video that I'm having trouble with it. That's really the only reason. And there's also one you can use to get over here. This one is not actually required to get over here to the gauntlet. Because you could just do that up one that I did earlier. Just do. Over here, do this. And you can kind of fall down to where this area is. You can lay a power bomb to get over here. By the way, gauntlet is. You're going to need up logic, like space jump or speed booster, like I'm using here. You're also going to need screw attack to go through. If you don't have screw attack, then gauntlet is not in logic. So don't worry about trying to do hell runs through there with minimal items. You need to at least have something to go up and something to get over. There are a couple other places where we can use shine sparks as well, and they would be in logic. Most shine sparks that you see speedrunners do, a lot of them require short charging. They would not be in logic. However, like this Mount Everest one, roll out of here. Got this nice long area here. Just do a nice long run. I come back here and then do this spark up here. This is something you might need to know. Another one that you might not think about would be. Let's see how I go. I'm going to go to Cathedral where I have speed booster. Let's go stuff. So, Normally you're going to have bombs. You get here like 99% of the time you're going to have bombs. But it is actually possible to get all the way here without bombs if you had an early super attack. That would let you cut out of the early part of the game. There's that area right after you get bombs, so those blocks you're supposed to use the bombs on. You can just use super attack on them instead. So imagine you get down here, and right now I've got high jumps. Let's turn that off. High jumps just got a whole bunch of stuff here. So you got this area here. This would actually be pretty difficult to get up without high jump. There have been some tweaks. I'm going to probably have a link to, I posted some YouTube, there'll probably be a link below with an image to it. Like this section here is gone, so you can just wall jump this very easily. But try wall jumping up this not so much. This would be one of those advanced wall jumps where we wouldn't expect to be able to know how to do that. Like that I just did. I made that look easy. And the problem is, if you're here trying to get out this way, I have no bombs. I can't get through here. But if you have speed booster, shoot up, spark up, and we're out. Here's another interesting use of speed booster. Let's go to Crocomire again. Oops. Being in the practice ROM kind of gives me a free shine spark here. Let's go to normal. I can get to this pretty easily because I've got high jump and speed booster. So let's turn those off. Like I don't have that stuff in this demonstration. So now, I was trying to get up there. There's no way. In fact, since I have speed booster inactive, it's actually kind of difficult to get to this. See how that jump's kind of not very good? That one was a little better. When you have speed booster, but no high jump, these jumps can be... So look at that, I'm not getting any height, and then that time I did get height. Jumps can be very difficult when you have speed booster without high jump. You might actually want to turn it off in some cases, in order to get a little bit of your extra height and more normal jumps. We can use a shine spark here. First open this door. Well, first kill Crocomire, so I'm just going to do that. Then come over here, open this door. We get this nice long runway. We got a nice visual cue. We got Croc's head as a visual cue. So we're going to run past Croc, charge, jump, and then go through the door. And just like that, we're over here. And this could be required. This is not just a swag trick here. Normally there'd be an item here. Could be the item you need. Could be gravity suit. In this case I've already got gravity, but that is a potentially required trick. So let's talk about something else that was done in the demo. Let's go back to our favorite place here. So yeah, we'll go back to Super Metroid. So this is something else that was done in the demo. I believe it was done right here, right from this spot here. Oops, that's not very good. There we go. Demo did this. This is called an IBJ, or an infinite bomb jump. And this part here, from just bouncing on the previous, just laying a bomb, and just bounce down that, it's actually pretty easy. It's surprisingly easy to do this once you get it started. This timing is pretty lenient. And you can see I use this bomb jump to get all the way up. This may be a required thing as well. That first part, this part takes some practice. See, I missed that one. And it, yeah, that jump takes practice, and it can be different whether you have high jump or not. You can also do it from the ground. So let's see around here. Oops. That was the double bomb jump. That's what I'm used to doing. So yeah, it can be kind of tricky to get started. See ya. There we go. It's even a little bit harder to start from the ground, in my opinion. But this may be required as well. I'll give some examples of that. Let's see. We already showed this side of J. Let's show another one. So Mama Turtle. Several ways to get to Mama Turtle. This is a long enough runway for a Shine Spark. I don't know if this one's required or not, but I think it would be because it is a pretty long runway here. You just go like this, and you're up. And you could also use grapple if you had high jump. You could do a high jump to it. But you might need our friend the turtle here and do this. This would be a required method to get to this item up here. Alright, so another one that I'm going to do is sandbits. Let's see. Left sandbit. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is that you lay a power bomb here. I'm not going to do it this time. I'm just going to show you what happens if you don't. You get up here. First off, you don't know what this item is. You can only see this one. And then secondly, you can see that kind of blockage in our way there, kind of up here. That can be kind of annoying to get rid of. So I might come up here and then shoot it, and then, oh, now I got to go all the way back around. So if we come back here, just lay a power bomb right in the middle of the room. With that, now we can see what this item is, and those blocks are out of the way. Now the intended way to get to this room is to do a spring ball with high jump. Like this. And you can spring ball up this way. If you have space jump, you might be expected to do that. I didn't talk about the nerd morph. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to that nerd morph trick. And then how are you gonna get up here? You're going to spring ball. This is pretty tight. So what you might need to do is do that infinite bomb jump to get up here. Just that little short version of it. So learning it from the ground is going to be useful. Let's talk about that midair more. So we're going to go to return trade. So we got this item over here. Maybe it's something we really want. How are we going to get to it? We don't actually need spring ball for this. So when we did that jump to do the bomb jump, you see how high Samus keeps going up after going in the morph ball? You can actually get to the ceiling that way. The same thing can be used here. So roll in like this. Once here you come down and shoot. And then here you come out. And so that mid-air morph technique, I also used it in the left sandpit there. That could be something that's something you're going to want to learn. There's only a few places where you really need it. I've got another one coming up here. We're going to go to Shack Tool. Okay, so in this case, I've already picked up the item. Let me come back down here. Again, the normal thing you would do is come over here, pick up the item, and then you would use spring ball to get out. It's a little random. You might not have spring ball. So then what do? Could do the bomb jump. I believe you would need bombs to get here, otherwise I don't see how. You need either spring ball or bombs to get through here, so no spring ball. It is possible. One thing that could happen, you might have spring ball without high jump. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, it looks like that. Oh, you can get out here. Yeah, you can't get out here though. So this is where you need that mid-air morph trick. Like that. Space jump to do the mid-air morph. So that's definitely something you're gonna want to know. What if you don't have bombs either? What if you somehow got in here without bombs? I think it can be done. If you're trying to do the mid-air morph trick's pretty tough right here. See this? Even with high jump off, I've already turned high jump off. Even with high jump off, this is a pretty difficult one. I'm having trouble doing it myself. So, what do? You can actually turn gravity off. And now you got all day to do that. This has become a much easier mid-air morph. So this could be something you need to know. This is, I believe, this example and the other one we did earlier in the ocean. I think those are the only two places where you'd be expected to be in water with gravity suit off. Alright, so we've covered being in water without gravity. Why don't we cover being in heat without Varia? Let's head over. Let's head back over to let's head back over to Business Center here. So right now I've got Varia suit. Let's turn it off for a demonstration here. So most of the rooms in Warfare are heated. The ones that are not are going to be your high jump area rooms. So these rooms over here where high jump are, those are not heated rooms. This save station is not heated. Something to keep in mind with this save station. Let's look at our items here. How are they getting out? You recall in the vanilla game, you go down Red Tower, you can't get back up. Eventually you find Ice Beam. That's your path to get back up. Since it's so random, we might find Space Jump. But otherwise, if I find gravity, I can do that with the Forgotten Highway trick we talked about at the beginning. But otherwise, I can't go back into Green Brinstar unless I have Weight Beam. So those are your 4 things you need. If you finish your exploration down below Red Tower, you don't find one of those 4 things, then that meant one of those 4 things was actually earlier. Maybe you should have gone back up to the ship when you were back in Big Pink before you came down to Red Tower. Maybe you should have gone back to the ship and then gone to the top of Red Tower. Go around the other way. And if you're not comfortable doing climbing Red Tower, which would be out of logic, it's doable. I mean, speedrunners do it, but if you're not comfortable with that, because it is not easy, maybe don't save here. So when you look at the save station, I normally recommend saving fairly often for your runs, but check your inventory. Check where you're at. If you can't get back to the ship, you probably should save. The only exception would be Turian, and even then, make sure you have plenty of super missiles, because you may not find Charge Beam, and then if you don't find Charge Beam, the only way you can beat Mother Range with lots of missiles and super missiles. So be careful saving there too. All right, so these are the only 3 areas. These are the only areas, 3 areas you can go. These 3 checks here in this area. Now let's say that I had Speed Booster. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself Speed Booster. So with Speed Booster, that would allow me to go past this save station. And I can go through here. I currently don't have power bombs, so these are all going to be like energy refills. But normally, if you had power bombs, this is a good place to get your power bomb refill. All right, we get over here, and oh shoot, it's a heated room. So here's the thing: this particular heated room is actually fairly short. Let's see if we run across it. We got 266 health here. Let's see what happens. Run across. Oh, we fell. Oh shoot, we fell some more. Oh, I still got up here. I didn't even lose 100 health. Like, I barely lost. I didn't lose very much health. And if I hadn't fallen, I could have done this even faster, right? And now I'm over here in Bubble Mountain. This room is not heated. And here's one item down there. You can see it in the lower right, those buttons. When you have Speed Booster, this item is in logic, even if you don't have Varia suit. They expect you to do this little mini hell run to get over here. All the other rooms connected to this are heated, so this is it. There's even one up here that you can get to Let's go ahead and do that too. Yeah, this room up here, where if you get to this room, the item's right there. This is a heated room. So this would be out of logic. By the way, I'm in the vanilla game, something I haven't talked about yet. I'm in the vanilla game, so right now I've got Maria off, and I'm still not taking any heat damage. In a randomizer, most randomizers, and SMRAT is the same, you will take half damage. They've kind of nerfed gravity, to where it will still do half heat. People only give you half protection heat. And so, even though this would be a fairly easy item to pick up with gravity, because you would be taking only half the regular damage, and it's a small room, this is still an out-of-logic check. The only room that's the only heated area you might expect to cross is that small gap we did earlier. I just wanted you to know that if you pick up gravity, don't be thinking, hey, I don't need Mario, I got my heat protection. Not really. Still need that. So another thing that might catch you off guard, that's actually one of my least favorite things this is probably my least favorite thing that's in logic in the game, but it's in logic, so we better talk about it, is getting up to this room here. So let's say this is what we got Ice Beam. We probably move. I don't know. Let's come out of this room. We're going to prepare to freeze this waiver here. Like that. See why I don't like this. I already messed up. Let's come back here. In fact, I just saved the save state here as I'm moving through. That's probably not high enough. Yep. There we go. You can see that's a pretty difficult wall jump. It's not that difficult. You need a full jump height. It's actually not that difficult. You're jumping off these. What's difficult is getting the height, and also getting these things to freeze in the right place so you go across. See, I don't know why this is logic. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really like this one, but it is in logic. And so you might want to know it. The hard part is getting this guy to freeze high enough. So this is the trick I've learned walking out of this door. In theory, if you were to go all the way around, by the way, these wall jumps over here are not in logic, even if you had high jump. The game would expect you to either have space jump, or do an infinite bomb jump, or just go all the way around the slow way like you would in a vanilla game, the long way. If you do the long way and you get up to where that cactac is, you can see it up there. I mean, freezing this guy, like there, I was able to do that one. I had to wall jump off the waiver, jump onto the waiver, not K-go through the waiver. It's actually pretty easy to K-go through it. I actually did it once earlier. I didn't mention it, but one of my earlier attempts there, I K-go through it. And, or at least I think I did. It's pretty easy to do. Fall through those waivers. So this trick of coming out of this door, shooting the waiver, jumping onto it, and then wall jumping up, that's definitely something you're going to want to practice. And that's just good practice in general. It'll make you better at wall jumping. So that's a good thing to do. Let's see here. Kind of finishing up here. I can see. Oh, I got one more thing to do here. Let's go to first start. Yeah. Let's go to. Okay. So right now I've got gravity on. Let's say I had both seats. So I'm loaded up. Okay. Let's see how much damage this takes. These spikes, only 15 damage. Yeah, I come over to this guy. Only 20 damage from this big side hopper. Okay. Now let's turn off both seats. Look at that. 80 damage from this side hopper. These spikes, 60 damage. rooms that are normally easy or not that difficult can become pretty difficult with just the power suit. Varia is halfway, so Varia would have been 40 damage from the big side hopper, 30 from this thing. But there's one more trick. So I talked about how gravity was nerfed, unless you also have Varia. I did this demonstration on the practice round, which is based on the vanilla game. In the randomizer, if you have gravity, it will give you the full protection from the side hopper. Gravity but no Varia. It'll give you only do 20 damage to the side hopper. But these spikes will still do the full 60 damage. You don't get any environmental protection unless you have Varia. And then if you got Varia and gravity, it stacks and did the full protection. So environmental damage, like electric sparks, these spikes, full damage, even if you got gravity. It's something that can be very easy to forget about, especially if you're doing something like bowling and you're used to just, oh, I already got Varia suit, so I'm used to having Varia suit for bowling. Now I've got gravity. It's basically the same thing. It's actually not. So that's good. I think it's important to know. Let's go back over to Crocomire. I actually forgot a particular shine sparking opportunity. So let's stand down in this room here. This is not a long enough distance for a shine spark. If you were somehow able to get down here without bombs and without space jump, you wouldn't be able to expect to do anything down here. You just have to go back up. If you did a space jump, you just roll through here and then space jump up to get these items up here. But if you do have power bombs, blow these up. Blow these up. And do a nice little run here. You can actually do a nice run and jump and get over here. Even if you don't have high jump, you make this jump to get to your grapple beam. If you're trying to get to the missiles that are up here, and kind of do it like this. That might be too far. Yeah, I've always do that. You don't really need to be that far. That might even be too far. Just barely too far. But you get the idea. You can use a shine spark to get up there. And by the way, this might be another place where you're expected to know how to do this thing. Get all the way up. So, IBJ, it's definitely worth knowing. Many places you may need it. Alright, as I finish up here, just a few minutes left. Main Street, if you've collected 100% of the items, you probably know how to get the Main Street item. I just want to cover that. I believe that this is the intended way of getting it. You open the store, you come through here, you clear out these things. And then you have a nice full running jump. You activate your shine spark either there or before you leave, you run over to this plant and you spark up. That's something, you probably did this in your 100% playthrough already, but just wanted to show that that's the way to do it without any short charge involved. And my last thing to demo are sky missiles. So sky missiles, these are again another item that if you've got speed booster or space jump or speed booster, they're pretty easy to get to. This is plenty long enough to spark about here and then shoot these missiles to get them. But what if you don't have that? What if you don't have speed booster? You might actually need to ride these platforms. And this is actually in logic. You don't even need any. You probably do this without. In fact, let's just turn everything off. You would have needed something to get this far in the game, but if you can get to this room. So, okay, now that that platform's activated, it's not a big deal that I didn't jump on them. You just kind of need to keep moving. you gotta kind of keep them on screen. You need that one. So if you miss time, I don't even know if you can jump up to it from where I was. Probably not with that high jump. Alright, let's keep them on screen. Kind of stay off screen pretty easily. You gotta keep them on screen or you won't move. Go over here. And now we can get onto them. And we'll begin the long ride over. While I'm here, I talked a little bit about crashes. I mentioned the ready one. Another one that's somewhat common, or it can be done, is those eye doors, or the door doors before boss rooms. It is possible if you're a little bit late. Oh, here's my ride. I kind of missed it. So I think you can get up here. You don't even need that ride. Should have not been talking. The safe state's not very good. Yeah, this you definitely want to try to get on that moving platform that just went by, not to this. Oh, there I got it. So, lay a power bomb as you're approaching that would be another way of doing it so that it kind of opens that area up and then all you have to do is jump to it. Maybe I'll try to do that coming back. Oh, that kills your platform too. Okay, don't do that. That's interesting that it kills the platform. So this one is tricky to do. You're going to want to practice it. Anyway, I was talking about the Ghidorah doors. Let's see, it's easy to fall off here. Ooh. I can't get on it. Oh well. The Ghidorah doors. So those boss eye doors. If you kill the eye door at the same time that it's firing a shot at you, then the game can freeze up. And so, but only if you wait like 5 seconds. So if you think that may have happened, or if you're just nervous about it, just once you kill the eye door, just go into the boss room. Don't delay. Yeah, I was while jumping on it earlier. You're asking to do that. It's better to not do that. It's better to you can jump on this platform if I didn't mess up my save state. Well, you kind of caught me at the end. I'm actually got to sign off here, and I'm kind of done with my presentation on SMRAT That and Logic, so I will probably be posting that on YouTube in the future. Thanks for watching. I'm signing off. You too.